Hey y'all, this is DaButcher, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at the SuperBox S6 Ultra 6K. We're going to take a look at this box and see what it has in it and how if it works for you. We're going to have a gigabit Ethernet port, Wi-Fi 6, 4 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage, over-the-air updates, and says that it supports the H.265, so it should support 4K. And we're going to take a look at this. And you guys know me, I am into a lot of stuff. So I'm going to test things that you're not going to see in any other videos for this. I will give you 100% honesty. And you make your judgment if you think that this is a box that can fit your needs. Comes in a nice case. It's well protected. One of the things I did like about this box was I did like the metal case. This is a all metal case with lots of vents. So it should keep the box pretty cool, and it's a pretty cool look. I like this silver look on the top. Also has a clock on it, but you can see plenty of vents on it. We have the micro SD port. We have a USB 3 as well as a USB 2. That is the reset button. On the front, this is where the clock is and stuff like that. Two external antennas to get good Wi-Fi connection. We have the DC connection there. We have some audio jacks. We also have the HDMI. We have an Ethernet port, and if you have an optical cable, you are able to connect it that way. So very nice setup. And I think it does look pretty cool sitting out there. Also in the box, we're going to get the HDMI cable, and I think this is about 3 foot or so of HDMI cord, so you'll have plenty of cord to get to your TV. Also, of course, comes with a power cord, so you're able to plug it in and be able to get some get the power you need there. Also, that comes with, of course, the remote, which I will say was a pretty nice remote. I like the feel of this remote. Nice rubber facing on all the buttons. It's got your number buttons on it, which are nice at times to be able to use that. But I like the feel of it. It had a nice grippy feel for a remote, because sometimes these boxes out of China can have a really crappy remote, and this does come with a good remote. There is no battery, so you're gonna have to go out there and break loose of some AAA's, because this did not come with no AAA batteries. But hey, who doesn't have some AAA batteries in your house? You got some around there. So again, nice little remote. I did like the feel of the buttons also. A nice soft little click to them. Also comes with a little owner's manual or a setup guide. It's a very small setup guide. It does not give a lot of instruction, but through this video, and if you've watched other videos of the SuperBox, you're going to see it's pretty easy to set up. So when you first boot up, we're going to get this little disclaimer, and it's going to give you some, don't do this, do that. And I have connected through my Ethernet port, so it's really easy. I'm making the screen a little larger. You can make the screen a little larger. This is the interface when you first go in. You can see that it's, I'll say that it's your basic Android box with your shortcuts that you can customize across there. So we have 6 customizable shortcuts. Now, one of the first things you want to do is to set up your remote, and you're going to hold the OK button and the back button to pair, and you can see that it said connection successful. So now we're good to go. First thing you want to do is go into the little app store. We're going to click on the little green Android man, and this is going to basically install their app store. Also going to get a disclaimer to say, hey, we're not responsible if you're doing stuff on this box. So but it's going to take us into their third-party app store. Some of the apps that you're going to want to install right away is the Blue VOD, Blue TV, which is your live TV, backup, or playback, excuse me. Playback is kind of your catch-up. Also, they give an extra backup channel or service. So I I'm going to install that. Anything you see with the green check marks are things that are installed. Gray means they're available, but I haven't updated. But we can see if you've been in the cord cutting scene, you'll have noticed quite a few of the apps that you may be familiar with, like the Film Plus, or TTV, BTV, stuff like that. So I'm going ahead and installing a handful of things that I know I'm going to need, especially the file manager in Fast was a speed test. Apatoid, which is a third-party APK store, I like that. There also was APK Grab and a few other ones, but I didn't mess with installing some of those. I thought Apatoid would work fine, but it does offer Play Store also, so we do have the ability to install some Play Store. Down here, I'm going to go to the settings, and I'm just going to do a check to see if there is any updates. Now, you can update through their little widget, but I also went into the system to check to see if there was any updates, and there was not. This box has only been released just less than a week. So basically your Android interface. We also, now so I'm going to go into the LiveTV, and I'm basically going to set what I want to launch in here. So I'm going to say I want the blue TV. That is your LiveTV. The VOD, I'm going to set that up to the blue VOD. Basically, that's your movies and TV shows that have been out. Playback, I would call this catch-up. So if you're a person that's been into live TV apps, this is catch-up. It will go back on certain channels up to 6 days. And one of the things that is cool about this is that I can set a couple things, and I do put the backup as well as the blue TV as a option for when I go into live TV. So you're able to have multiple apps in there. Launches really quick. And I'm not going to show much. I can't really show stuff would get me in trouble. But I had 1,600 channels. And here's the backup. I'm just going to show you this. I'm showing you really quick, guys, but because I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube. So both of these services work. This is the backup option. When you go into that, you'll see it's got VOD as well as channels in here. Clicked on the VOD aspect. This is your video on demand, so this is going to be wanting to watch stuff that is already been released, movies and TV shows. Playback, this is our catch-up. So you're going to kind of get a glance where you're going to see it has 6 days back. I think it's 120 different channels that it offers this for. So, you can roll through that. I can't roll through that because, YouTube will pop me on that. So you get the idea of it. I'm going to go ahead and do the speed test. Now, I did install Fast, so that I'll be able to use that. One of the other things when you first get this, guys, it's going to sometimes going on Chrome, we have to basically allow Chrome to do this. This remote does offer you the mouse feature. Now, you're going to see I'm going to click on the mouse. Now I have the little mouse, and now I can actually click it because some apps need a mouse. You're not able to use it through the remote. And through the gigabit Ethernet port, I get pretty good speed on this. I'd say this was on a Saturday afternoon, so that was pretty good for me. Sometimes on days not so busy, I get more, but you can see plenty of speed through that device. You got the file manager here, and I show that so that you can move files around if you have a USB drive on it. And we're able to move them from one place to another. But you can see over on the left, you can see that it does 117 gigabits of storage is available. All right, let's see. We're gonna go to next. So this is where I'm adding in some shortcuts. So we're able to add 6 shortcuts right on the screen. So basically, I click it, and boom, that's a shortcut on the home screen. And again, you can install all kinds of apps from the Play Store or Apatoid or one of the other options. One of the other cool things is the number button. So if I go into the number buttons, I can set the number buttons to certain applications. So I set 1 to APK time, and you can see when you click it, boom, I clicked the 1 and it went right into that. So that is another little thing. So basically, you kind of have 16 shortcuts that you can create quite easily, and you one click and you're where you need to be. We can link this into your Google account, so you can log into Google and you're able to pull in any of the Google Play items. Now I'm showing down here in the bottom these little shortcuts. We have the file manager, the clean sweep, the speed test, your recycling bin, as well as your voice search. It has a voice search down there, and as well as the support window where you're able to get some help. On this part now, I'm showing some retro gaming. Now, you guys know me, I love my gaming. And so I want to know, is this box strong enough to run some gaming? And as you can see here, I am running Dreamcast via RetroX. It's very easy to do that. Now you can install separate APKs, but I prefer RetroX. It's a one plug-in, and I'm ready to go. So I'm using RetroX, and you can see Dreamcast is running pretty well for a box. I was pretty happy with the gameplay. I thought that it played pretty smooth. I was listening to the music. I didn't hear any real skips, so did a very good job with the Dreamcast here on there. Jumped over to N64 for emulation. Now, sometimes some systems have a little bit of issue with N64. I had no problems with N64. Here I go through and I'm playing a little bit of Mario Kart. Played very smooth. I had no issues with that. Again, you're probably not going to see any other people trying to do emulation on this box. But you know what? If you've got 128 gigs, why shouldn't I load it up with some of my favorite ROMs and play? This is where I'm installing and playing some Sega Saturn. I'm able to play a little Mortal Kombat with Saturn, and it did a good job. Another great job. I had no hiccups playing Mortal Kombat 2, and go through this, and I'm able to play. Great little time. I enjoyed it. And on the audio for this, if you hear a little bit of any of it that falls behind on the gameplay, that is because it was recorded, and sometimes doing the recording, it lost a little bit of the sync. But you can see Saturn is playing quite smoothly. I went ahead and threw in some Sega Genesis. I'm going ahead and try this. And this is, I think, the collection of Sonic. So a bunch of different Sonic games that I'm able to play. And again, if it was playing Saturn, you know that it's going to play the Genesis emulation very well. And it does. Again, you got 128 gigs. What are you going to load this up with? So why not load some of your favorite emulation games on this and play it? And again, you can install separate emulators, but I'm doing this through RetroX just because it's simple. It plays all the different systems, so I just found it to be a much easier system than trying to install each and every emulator. But as you see, playing nicely. A little NES, of course. I just tossed in an NES game just to show you that you can play some Nintendo on it. And I didn't record it, but I was able to do some Super Nintendo without a problem. So again, just showing you guys know me. I love my emulation games as well as I like my other systems. I actually installed a separate emulator for this because RetroX struggles a little bit with some system with Android 12 for PlayStation. So I installed PSXE. I installed that and I ran this. And again, the recording, the sound was not perfect, but it was when I was playing it, the sound was perfect, but the recording did not record quite as well as I would have liked. But PlayStation 1 played fine. PSP does not play very well in this system, so just keep you in mind in that. So time shift is also offered in this. So any channels, when you're in the live section, if you see these yellow little play symbols or TVs, that will be where you have catch up. You can roll back on any of those channels and roll back a number of hours and watch stuff. So time shift I would call it catch-up. So I ran these tests to see what kind of system. One of the things is you would have thought this was a 64-bit, but you have to install 32-bit APKs on this. For whatever reason, you can't install 64-bit. One downside of this is that it does not support H.265 at this time. As you can see when you're looking at the codecs, 265 is not on it. I tried Kodi, a number of files on Kodi, probably 20. No 4K would play. So this is not going to play 4K videos. Maybe in an update it'll happen, but right now it is not playing it. So some of my pros to this system. Easy setup. I mean, plug this thing in, go through the few steps, and you are watching live TV. Lifetime subscription. With getting this box, it says that it's lifetime subscription, and I've seen people posting some of the other systems run. The older systems still have support, the S4, S5. This does have a lot of RAM and storage, so that is a plus. Voice search. So if you're in the live TV section, you actually can push the voice search, and you will find certain channels that you have requested. So the catch-up, playback, shift, that is a plus. And a lot of IPTVs do not offer that. It is a plus to have the third-party stores as well as Google Play. It makes it very easy to set up. You can set up parental controls. So if you don't want certain channels to show, you can turn those channels off and your kids won't be able to get into those. 16 custom shortcuts on the home page or the remote. So that was a nice thing. I like the slick metal case. I thought the metal case was pretty cool. It looks nice. It kept the device running cool, so that I did like that. Bluetooth remote. I love that it was a Bluetooth remote. So many of these Chinese boxes, you have to point right at the device, and it's a pain in the butt. Emulation up to PS1. As you saw, it ran up to PS1. I had no problem. I do like the external antennas. It gave very good coverage when I had Wi-Fi testing around my house. So those are the pros to this system. So let's see, we're going to get to the cons, some of the things that I did not like as much. So some of the cons. First and foremost would be the price. This is an expensive Android box. It is high price, so that is a major concern for some people may not be able to afford it. Lifetime subscription. Kind of. There's no guarantee this service or this business will be around forever. So know that it's going to be around. So if they get shut down, your lifetime subscription is gone. LiveTV is limited to North America and some UK channels. You're not going to get Asian channels. You're not going to get a lot of UK regular entertainment channels. It's going to be sports. No 265 playback. So there's no 4K playback if you're using Kodi or MB or Plex. You will not be able to watch 4K. So to me, that was a downside for sure. The OS is 32-bit, not 64-bit. So if you have a system application that needs a 64-bit, it will not run. You have to run 32-bit. For my friends, for me, advanced cord cutters are not going to really be a fan of this. They're going to find it limited. So, does this box fit your needs? Now, does the price, its features, its lifetime support, does that fit your needs? Now, you only know, and again, you can watch other people that do videos for this. You make that call. If you want to get that, you can use the code. You can use the code DaButcher. They offered the DaButcher code, and you can save another $50. So it'll pull it somewhere down $350 to $350 for the Ultra. It'll bring the price. Bring it down to $350. And if you think that now again comes with live TV, you're going to have all the channels, and I will say the channels loaded very quick. When I was using it for the live TV, loaded real quick. So that was a good thing. So you have to decide what is going to fit your budget and your experience level with boxes. If you're an advanced user, you'll probably find, hey, I could find this I can find this in a different system and maybe cheaper. But to have 128 gigs of storage, 4 gigs of RAM, which does make it a very peppy system. The system is responsive. All that stuff goes, and the channel's loaded great. So you have those pros, but you do lose the 4K support. For right now, hopefully they fix that issue. I would hope, but at this time I haven't heard of them updating that. But as you can see from my test, the H.265 codec is not even in there. So that is a downside. So you got to decide. Again, this box does have a lot of pros. There is some nice things about this box. But to be honest, there were a few things that made me kind of say, again, I've shown you things probably you're not going to see from other videos, especially like the emulation and trying to play 4K playback. I haven't seen anybody else mention that. But hopefully you guys like it. And if you do want to get the box, use the code and save some money. So talk to y'all later.